Do you ever find an obstacle in front of you and think, this isn't fair, I don't have time for this, or why me? Sure you have. We all have. What can a young boy and a candle teach us about overcoming these untimely challenges and frustrations in life? Join me as together we tap back in and discover the secret. Recently, I was at church on Sunday, and if you've ever been to a Catholic Mass, you know it was full of tradition and prayer and singing. Well, a handful of people singing while others quietly sing maybe a few of the words they know, and the rest either stand back quietly or mouth the words to at least look like the rest who are singing, even if they don't quite know the words or aren't quite ready to belt out a song if it's not in the shower or in the car, or maybe that's just me. That being said, this isn't a video about singing, or not singing, as the case may be. During this particular Mass, one of the altar servers, who couldn't have been more than 7, was lighting the altar candles, as an altar server normally does. He approached the candle on the right side of the altar. He raised the lighter as high as he could, held it above the wick for a second, and success! The flame blossomed above the candle. I can imagine him thinking, okay, 1 down, 1 to go, I've got this, and I'll be 1 step closer to getting home and playing some video games. So after that, he crossed behind the altar, looked up at that second candle, and raised the lighter above the wick once more. Now, here's the thing. This lighter is on a pole. It's not like a Bic or a lighter wand. This lighter is almost as tall as him. And did I mention that the candle was double his size? Well, it was. He held the lighter there, and it didn't light. He held it for another moment. And no flame, no ember, nothing. One other thing to keep in mind, he's doing this in front of 150 or so people who want to worship and then get on with their day. No pressure, right? He lowered the lighter, made sure it was working again, and lifted it above his tiny frame, convinced it would work this time. It didn't. And that's when something special happened. You see, he didn't look at the audience and let out a nervous laugh. He didn't turn to the priest and give a look that would indicate a little help here. He didn't even look for his parents or a sibling in the audience to rescue him from the shame of failure on stage, as it were. No, he didn't do any of those things. What did he do? He looked up at the candle, the current Everest or white whale of his short life, and he did something powerful. He smiled. He smiled as if to say, I've got this. You will not beat me. I'll figure this out, and I will overcome. Then he took a deep breath, hoisted the taller-than-him lighter above his head, and held it so that the flame once again touched the wick. Still nothing. Then he stood on his tiptoes, and he tried to get every inch of height that his young body would allow, and he kept at it, all the while maintaining that smile that announced to all around that this was his moment. He would not be beaten. And you know what? He wasn't. The flame engulfed the wick, and the candle lit brightly and boldly as a testament to his commitment. You see, he wasn't deterred. He was committed to accomplish his goal, no matter how long it took or how many things he had to try. He tapped back in. And that leads me to this week's question. What's your candle? What task, goal, or hardship is in front of you this week? Instead of panicking and thinking things like, I'll never get this, or this is impossible, or worse yet, I hate that I have to deal with this right now, why not try a different approach? Why not stare deep into the obstacle, your candle, and keep trying solutions until you are able to light the wick in your success? You see, often we tap out of problems when we face them. We think this is too hard or this is unfair, when instead we should approach them like this young boy did, with a smile on our face and the resolve that we can conquer all that is before us. My name is Michael Leone, and you've just tapped back in.